When Nike unveiled plans to distribute Caitlin Clark's signature shoe worldwide, it became clear this was no regional campaign. It's a global play. Clark's influence has exploded beyond the U.S., drawing interest from young athletes and fans across continents. Nike isn't just betting on her talent. They're positioning her as the face of a new international era in women's sports. Her sneaker isn't just footwear. It's a symbol of where the game is headed and who it includes.
If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
In Clark, Nike sees a bridge between elite performance and mass cultural relevance, capable of inspiring a girl in Des Moines as much as one in Dakar. This isn't a short-term PR moment. It's a blueprint for what the future of women's sports looks like. Clark's shoe represents Nike's commitment to long-term brand building, treating women athletes with the same strategic vision afforded to male icons. It means establishing Clark as not just a player, but a global symbol of aspiration and progress. And if the world embraces her the way Nike expects, this launch could mark the beginning of a sports culture that finally makes room for women at the top, commercially, globally, and permanently. Caitlin Clark is officially breaking the system that spent decades pretending women's sports are just an add-on. Nike just announced a signature shoe for her, and this isn't a one-off collab or a special promo. It's a full-scale, globally marketed signature line, the kind of honor typically reserved for male athletes at the absolute top of their game. LeBron, KD, Kobe, Jordan. Now, add Clark. This is not about hype. It's about history. For Nike to hand a signature sneaker to a rookie WNBA player speaks volumes. Not just about Caitlin's star power, but about how much the sports industry itself is changing. This move doesn't happen without massive faith in her marketability, her influence, and the cultural moment she represents. Caitlin Clark hasn't just arrived. She's been positioned as the future of women's basketball. And Nike isn't just making a bet. They're building a... Think about the message this sends. For decades, women's basketball has fought for recognition. Equal pay, equal airtime, equal endorsement dollars. And now, one of the biggest sports brands in the world is saying, we're done treating this like an afterthought. Caitlin Clark isn't a side project. She is the project. And the thing is, it's not even surprising. Caitlin's been pulling in massive ratings since her college days. She didn't just dominate the stat sheets. She dominated the headlines. Fans tuned in. Crowds followed her from city to city. Ticket sales spiked. Her impact was measurable, not speculative. She became appointment viewing. And when her WNBA debut hit, it was already clear the audience was there. Nike saw that and didn't hesitate. They're not just riding the wave. They're helping steer it. Because in a sports economy where attention equals currency, Caitlin Clark is walking capital. She's polarizing. She's electric. She's confident. And whether people are cheering or criticizing, they're watching. Nike didn't just buy into her stats. They bought into her ability to shift culture. This isn't about growing the women's game. That narrative's tired. This is about acknowledging that it already grew, and Clark helped accelerate it. The idea that a young woman athlete can be treated like a global brand this early is a blueprint breaker. Her signature shoe isn't just a product, it's a cultural endorsement. And Nike isn't trying to test the waters. They're diving in. Caitlin Clark's shoe will be sold worldwide. That's not just marketing. That's international positioning. Nike is setting her up not as a domestic athlete, but as a global figure. The kind who can sell sneakers in Tokyo, New York, Madrid, and Sydney. The kind of positioning women athletes have rarely been given this early, if ever. And there's more at stake than just sales. This changes how future athletes, especially young girls, see what's possible. Because when you see a woman with her own signature shoe, headlining campaigns, and being treated with the same energy as a LeBron or Giannis, that rewires your sense of what's achievable. This is bigger than merch. It's mentorship through visibility. And yes, people are threatened. Because when a woman starts getting this level of support, the usual reactions show up: doubt, jealousy, criticism. Some insiders and athletes are already reacting with a mix of admiration and envy. Why her? Why now? Has she really earned it? That question says everything. When male rookies sign deals worth tens of millions before ever hitting the court, the conversation is about potential. With Clark, it becomes about proving it. But here's the thing, she already has. She's proven that she can carry a franchise, that she can command attention, that she can shift conversations. The proof is in the metrics, the fan response, the media obsession. Nike doesn't guess. They study, and what they see in Caitlin Clark is bigger than numbers. They see influence, legacy, potential, long-term brand value. Because this deal isn't about one season. It's about 10 years from now. It's about building a brand around a person who can carry it. Someone who embodies confidence, resilience, and global reach. Nike is planting roots early so they can build a dynasty around her, and women's basketball more. And this has massive implications across the industry. Other brands are now on alert. This changes the standard. Suddenly, there's no excuse to treat women's basketball like an emerging space. It's here. It's loud. It's viable. And now it has a face. Caitlin Clark becoming the face of a global sneaker line means every sports marketing exec, every brand strategist, every endorsement. Dealmaker has to look at women athletes differently. It means the WNBA is no longer waiting for validation. It just got it. And the ripple effects won't stop here. More sponsorships, bigger deals, higher pay, better visibility. Once one brand goes all in, others have to follow or risk falling behind. Nike just raised the bar, and now everyone else has to meet it. And then there's the fans. For years, the common narrative has been that there isn't enough interest in women's sports. But Caitlin Clark has proven that when you give audiences something exciting, they show up. People don't want women's basketball to be like the NBA. They want it to be its own thing, with its own stars, its own stories, and yes, its own. That's what this represents. Women athletes being treated like cultural icons, not token figures. Being given the resources and respect to build empires, not just fill rosters. Nike's investment in Clark is a clear rejection of the outdated idea that women's sports are just a social cause. This isn't charity. This is commerce. Caitlin Clark sells, and Nike knows she'll continue to, because she doesn't just play the game. She shapes it. Even with the pushback, even with the skepticism, the deal is done. The shoe is happening. The rollout is global. And the message is clear. The ceiling is gone. This is a new era. Caitlin Clark is setting a precedent. And the industry is following whether it likes it or not. Because when a company like Nike speaks this loudly with its money, it rewrites the playbook, not just for athletes, but for brands, leagues, and fans. This isn't about giving women a chance. It's about finally catching up to the fact that they've earned it, and then some. So, where do we go from here? More women athletes will get their moment. More brands will step up. The conversation has changed, and it's not going back. And at the center of it all, a signature sneaker. One player. One giant leap. Caitlin Clark didn't just get a shoe. She got a legacy starter kit. Now it's up to the rest of the world to keep up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you excited for the Clark signature? Do you think this will shift the industry for good? Share this with someone who still thinks women's sports aren't marketable. And if you're here for more stories on how pop culture and sports collide, hit that like, tap subscribe, and stay tuned, because this ride is just getting started. Let's keep going, because this Caitlin Clark moment, it's not just a win for her. It's a shift for everyone in and around women's sports. And once you really look at what Nike is doing here, you realize this is not just about selling sneakers. This is about rewriting an entire narrative. For decades, signature sneakers have been one of the ultimate markers of athletic superstardom. Not just endorsement deals, not just branded gear. A signature shoe. That's how you know a company believes in you as more than just a player. They believe in you as a brand, as someone with staying power, as someone with cultural reach. And now, Caitlin Clark is joining a club that's been historically male-dominated. Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Giannis, Kyrie, and now, Clark. It's not just a huge deal for her. It's a statement that women belong in that same conversation. No asterisks, No women's version of greatness. Just greatness, period. But let's be real. This isn't just happening because of one player. Caitlin Clark is riding the wave of a much larger movement. Women's basketball has been climbing. College viewership hit record highs. WNBA attendance is surging. Ratings are up. The interest is there. What's been missing is investment. Nike just changed that. By giving Caitlin her own shoe, Nike is signaling that women athletes don't need to wait for the market to catch up. The market is already here. Young girls are watching. Fans are buying jerseys. Audiences are tuning in. Nike saw it, and they acted. And while there's a lot of celebration right now, don't forget, this came with pushback. There's always a level of resistance when the game changes. From the moment the deal was announced, the takes started rolling in. It's too soon. She hasn't proven anything yet. What about other players who've been around longer? But let's be honest, those takes don't come from a place of fairness. They come from discomfort, from a realization that a new face is redefining what success looks like. Because when a woman gets this kind of deal early in her career, it's suddenly controversial. When men get it, it's visionary. Nike isn't falling for that double standard, and neither is anyone paying attention. They're looking at her potential, her cultural presence, her influence. And Clark moves culture. She's not just an elite scorer or a fan favorite. She's someone who lights up the discourse. She's trending before she steps on the court. People love her, people doubt her, but everyone's watching. That kind of magnetism can't be manufactured. And Nike knows you don't sit on that. You build around it. So now, we're looking at what comes next. Caitlin Clark's shoe will be one of the most watched sneaker launches of the year. Not just because of who's behind it, but because of what it represents. It's a proof point. It's a push forward. And it's going to open doors, not just for her, but for an entire generation. Young girls who never saw someone like them headlining global campaigns are going to walk into stores and see her name on a box. That changes something in your brain. It tells you, you matter. This space includes you. And let's talk about the international angle, because this isn't staying in the US. Nike is launching this globally. That means the vision isn't just next face of the WNBA. It's next global icon. They're selling this shoe across continents. They're betting that Caitlin Clark has the potential to be a worldwide ambassador for the sport. It's smart, and it's necessary, because women's basketball isn't just growing in America. It's gaining fans everywhere. And if companies want to reach those audiences, they need faces that transcend the game. Caitlin Clark is already there. And what makes this move even more impactful? Nike isn't just handing out a sneaker. They're backing it with money, marketing, and visibility. The rollout isn't going to be hidden in the back of the catalog. It's going to be everywhere. This is a brand-defining decision. And it's also a wake-up call to other companies who've been sleeping on women athletes. Because now, they have no excuse. The numbers are real. The audiences are showing up. And Caitlin Clark just gave Nike a head start in a space that everyone else is scrambling to enter. Other players are watching this closely. They see what's possible now. And you can bet future athletes are going to start negotiating differently. Because once you show people what they're worth, they stop settling for less. That's the legacy Caitlin is already building. Not in 10 years. And it doesn't stop at basketball. This deal sends a ripple across the entire sports industry. It says women athletes can be market leaders, not just role models. It says girls' sports aren't a side project. They're a business opportunity. It says cultural icons don't need to fit into old molds. It says the future is here, and it's wearing signature sneakers. And don't underestimate the impact of this on younger athletes. Because it's not just about who gets the next sneaker deal. It's about who gets sponsorships, brand deals, media coverage, better salaries, and better representation. The industry is going to shift because this deal forces it to. Caitlin Clark didn't just kick in the door. She broke the whole frame. This isn't a temporary high. This is a cultural inflection point. And the timing couldn't be better. We're at a moment where people want to see the sports world evolve. Audiences are hungry for new stars, new stories, new voices. And Caitlin Clark has walked into that space with confidence, talent, and vision. Nike recognized it. And now, the rest of the world has no choice but to follow. So, Let's put it plainly. This isn't just about a shoe. This is about resetting the standard. This is about showing what's possible when talent, timing, and investment align. Caitlin Clark didn't ask for a seat at the table. She built one. And now, a generation of women athletes will eat at it. Absolutely. Let's keep going because Caitlin Clark's signature shoe moment isn't fading from the headlines anytime soon. It's not just a big deal in the moment. It's going to echo across every level of sports and business for years. This isn't some publicity stunt. It's a multi-layered shift in how athletes, especially women athletes, are valued, viewed, and vested in. Nike's decision to back Caitlin Clark at this scale, this early, says one thing loud and clear. Women are not a side note in the sports world anymore. And let's talk about the weight of that. Because it's not just about one athlete cashing a deal. It's about resetting the scoreboard for how athletes are measured in the eyes of business. For decades, the idea has been, you have to prove your worth first. Then we'll talk. But for women, the finish line keeps moving. Win a championship, break a record, win another one. And maybe someone will put you in an ad campaign. Clark's deal? It blows that model up. It says, you're already enough. It says, your impact is now, not 5 seasons from now. That's a radical change in how value is defined. And once a company like Nike redraws that line, it doesn't go back. But of course, the backlash hasn't been quiet. The moment the announcement dropped, you could feel the discomfort bubbling online. Critics crawling out with the same tired arguments. She hasn't done enough yet. She's being handed too much too soon. What about all the veterans? But let's be honest, that pushback doesn't come from a place of fairness. It comes from fear. Fear that the old gatekeeping model no longer applies. Fear that a young woman is being elevated without asking permission. And you know what? That's exactly why this deal matters. Because Caitlin Clark is not waiting for everyone to agree. She's not seeking universal approval. She's not tiptoeing around egos. She's here, and Nike's message is, that's more than enough. And the thing is, this deal had to happen. The timing, the momentum, the demand, it's all aligned. Women's basketball isn't on the rise. It's already risen. Clark just happens to be the most visible face at the right moment. And Nike is smart enough to catch the wave before someone else does. Because this isn't a short-term play. This is legacy-level investment. A signature sneaker isn't a one-season deal. It's years of design, rollout, branding, promotion. It's a brand marriage. Nike isn't just giving her a shoe. They're giving her a platform. A global one. That's why this is bigger than performance. It's about presence, impact, longevity. And let's not pretend like that hasn't always been the case for the men. Some of the most iconic basketball sneakers in history came from players who weren't even the best on the court. But they had style, swagger. Caitlin has all of that. And she's actually producing on the court too. She's got the numbers. She's got the visibility. She's got the fans. Her college games pulled Super Bowl level ratings. Her WNBA arrival was the most hyped in years. People are buying in literally and figuratively. And Nike? They're not sentimental. They're strategic. They see the data. They know where the culture's heading. They're not interested in waiting for the industry to catch up. They want to lead it. And what Caitlin's deal proves is that you can build a brand around a woman athlete without needing her to fit into old molds. She doesn't need to be quiet or overly polished or appease everyone. She could be ambitious, bold, even divisive, and still get the bag. That's a major departure from how women have been treated in the sports marketing space. For too long, women athletes were only allowed in the spotlight if they checked every box. Modest, marketable, non-controversial. Clark? She's got edge, swagger, a visible chip on her shoulder. And that's working for her. Nike's saying, that version of a woman athlete is now mainstream. And that opens the floodgates for a whole new generation. Because let's not forget, Caitlin's not just an individual. She's the first domino. Her success, her shoe, her rollout, it sets the precedent. It tells every brand manager, every sports agent, every marketing team, this isn't a fluke. This is the future. You think girls watching this aren't taking notes? You think agents aren't already reshaping their pitch decks? You think college players aren't reevaluating what's possible after seeing this headline? This is industry-wide disruption. And on a global level, it's even bigger. Because Nike isn't just targeting U.S. basketball fans. They're taking this international. The shoe will launch worldwide, which means Caitlin Clark is being positioned not just as a domestic superstar, but as a global icon. This is how you build legacy. Global distribution means visibility in every market, every major city, every sneaker store from Berlin to Manila. That level of reach turns an athlete into a symbol. Someone who represents more than their sport. Someone whose name becomes shorthand for progress, confidence, and a new kind of dominance. And that international push isn't just branding, it's expansion. Nike wants to grow women's basketball around the world. This is how you do it. With stars, with stories, with athletes that transcend the court. And with Clark, they found someone who can speak to fans who've never watched a WNBA game in their lives, but will now. Because this isn't about convincing people to care. It's about showing them something worth caring about. The model has changed. You don't need to beg for attention anymore. You just need a product and a person powerful enough to command it. And Caitlin Clark, she commands it. The numbers prove it. The media proves it. The fans prove it. And now, Nike's proving it with dollars. With action. With one of the most public, visible, and risky decisions they've made for a rookie athlete in recent memory. And whether you love her, hate her, or aren't sure yet, you're watching. That's the point. Because attention is the currency of modern sports. And Clark's got it in abundance. So where do we go from here? This deal will ripple across the WNBA, college athletics, international leagues, youth sports. We'll see more women getting signature lines, more coverage, more investment, but also more pressure, more scrutiny, more noise, because being first comes with weight. Caitlin's carrying it. She may not have asked to be the face of a movement, but that's what's happening. And if the past year has shown us anything, it's that she's not backing down from that. Nike knew what they were doing. They knew this would create conversation, friction, change. They wanted it to. This isn't just business. It's a statement. And the industry is already responding. Because now they have, you can't unsee this moment. You can't pretend women athletes are too niche to support anymore. You can't say the audience isn't there. You can't argue that there's no market. Nike just torched that excuse and built a sneaker empire in the ashes. So let's end on this. If you're still wondering whether this moment matters, whether it's too much, too fast, or whether it'll last, you're missing the point. The point is that it already happened. The deal is signed. The shoe is coming. The movement is real. And no amount of second-guessing can undo the fact that a woman athlete just joined the Mount Rushmore of sneaker culture before her rookie season was over. This is it. The bar has been raised. The ceiling? Gone. And the future? It's laced up in a pair of signature Caitlin 2. Let us know what you think. Is Nike rewriting the rules for women athletes, or just catching up to where the game already was? Are you buying the shoe when it drops? Are other brands going to step up? Or get left behind? Drop your take in the comments, like if you're here for women making history, and hit that subscribe if you want to keep following the chaos, the culture shifts, and every moment that flips the sports world upside down. We're not just witnessing change. We're standing in the middle of it.